afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining our webinar this afternoon. This week's topic is a review and refresh of the GCON4 MFL solution. I am Tracy Adams and I am the Marketing Manager for Enbridge Consulting. Shortly, my colleague Faye will provide a brief introduction before handing over to Jon and Albert from GCON4 for today's demonstration. Before we jump into the session, I would like to do some housekeeping for today's webinar. The webinar today is being recorded and a copy of the webinar will be available to you shortly afterwards. We will hold a Q&A session at the end of the demonstration, so again use the chat button to enter your questions and we'll try and cover as many of these as possible in our allocated time. To help us improve future webinars, a survey will pop up at the very end of the session. Please do take a moment to provide feedback to us. I believe most of you have attended one of our webinars before, but for those of you that are new to Enbridge, I'd like to give you a brief overview of our organisation. Enbridge has been working with Unit 4 Business World since around 2009 and became a Unit 4 partner in 2015. Since then, we have rapidly expanded to become one of the leading strategic Unit 4 partners in the UK. Enbridge has always been passionate about delivering an end-to-end solution for our clients, and our current developments in the marketplace follow this route. In 2020, we plan to expand the packages we offer clients for Unit 4 application support. We'll be announcing these very shortly. We'll continue to develop our public training courses schedule, and our new Unit 4 Business World training catalogue is available online. We're also following this up with a number of standard public courses available to you for booking, both on a virtual and a classroom basis. So this actually brings me on to development and the GCON4 MFL solution. Some of our attendees already use the solution, and therefore this session will be a refresh for you to learn about new developments. For those that have not seen the solution before, this is an opportunity for you to take a look and see how it will benefit you in your day-to-day working with Unit 4 Business World. Following the demonstration, there will be an opportunity for you to take a free trial of the solution, and we'll provide details to you shortly afterwards. At this point, I would like to introduce Faye O'Connell, our product manager, who will take you through the next part of the webinar.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us. We're really delighted to host this webinar today, giving you some information with regards to GCON4 MFL and its uses, not only from a data migration perspective, but also from a system administration and ongoing maintenance perspective too. We're also really excited to be able to give you a sneak preview of the new version of GCON4 MFL, which will see it embedded within the Business World application. In terms of a data migration tool and from Enbridge's perspective, it's an extremely powerful tool, not only from a data migration perspective, but also the ongoing maintenance. And in terms of our Enbridge implementations of Unit 4 Business World, it is our data migration tool of choice. So without further ado, I'd like to hand you over to Jon and Albert that are going to actually show you the product and walk you through the webinar. Good afternoon, Jon and Albert.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Okay, first, thank you everyone for today, and thank you Enbridge for allowing us to present again GCON4 MFL. Okay, so I will do a very quick introduction, and then Jon will help me to do the interesting part, which is the real demo of the product. Okay, so what does MFL do? Basically, GCON4 MFL covers the upload. When I say upload, I mean insert, but also update of master data and also transactional data, including all respective relations, flexi fields, and document archive linked into them. Okay, so what are the steps we should follow? Okay, first of all, we need to set up all our configuration in UEW. After that, GCON4 MFL allows us to generate Excel templates based on our configuration. Okay, those Excel templates can be automatically populated based on existing data from the system, which allows to do a lot of data maintenance, as you will see later, or in case of data migration, you can populate it from external systems or any system, because at the end of the day, it's just an Excel template, right? And after that, just to finish with, we can use GCON4 MFL to upload the data into the system. Okay, so what are the main features of GCON4 MFL? Meaning which elements we are able to upload. Okay, so we divided them on different work streams. So from an administration perspective, we can upload all the elements, standard elements, things like roles, users, any user-defined attribute, system attributes. Okay, all these key stuff. From finance perspective, we also cover most of them, which, for example, accounts, GL, AP, and AR transactions, fixed assets, and so on. From sales to cash, we also upload customers, customer groups, products, units, even sales order. Okay. From procure to pay, we can also upload suppliers, supplier groups, in terms of delivery, POs, even goods received, stock withdrawal, and stock entry. And in terms of project management, we can upload project work order activities, resource, project connections, so quite a lot of stuff there. For each of those elements, we are not able to upload just the standard fields, but also any related flexi field, relation, and document archive. Also, on top of that, we can use GCON4 MFL to create our own integrations between UBW and any other third-party software, because MFL not only allows you to upload data through Excel sheet, but also through CSV files or flat files, right? So with a combination of UBW IntelliAgents plus MFL, you will be able to create your own integrations very quick and easy, as John will show you later on. In terms of HR, we can upload a lot of stuff there as well. So from employee records, we can upload everything there. You have all that, even applicants, personal rates, bank details, etc. From position perspective, we can upload position register, position codes, register, position requirements, and so on. We have the whole list there. Workforce management as well. Rewards, we can upload risk and value reference, P&Ds, pay scales, okay, and all those elements here. And from training admin also, we can upload course codes, course IDs, sprint records, and competence group. Okay. Again, here, not only standard fields, but also any related flexi field, relation, and document archive. And of course, we can create our own integrations using MFL for any of those elements as well. Now, what are the key features for version 5.02? Okay, so one of the key things is the fund check is enabled now when we are uploading POs. Okay, so the POs uploading and updating, okay, was a key feature for version 5.0, and now with version 5.02, we have included the budget check. So if you are using budget checking, you will be able to do massive uploads of POs with MFL, and all those POs will go against fund check if you have that enabled. Okay. On top of that, we have added a field in the user master file, so you can configure new authentication methods. That this was available from milestone 7 update 4, if I'm not remember wrongly. Also, in the PDF guides that you can generate from GCON4 MFL, we have included the field width. Okay, so you now know how long this field can be basically. Okay, and of course now GCON4 MFL 5.02 is now also compatible with milestone 7 update 5 already. Okay, so how does it work? Basically, GCON4 MFL uses our own custom web service for the upload of data. Okay, so we have created this web service that does all the validation, exactly the same validations that you will find on any screen, UVW screen. So you are sure that no wrong data will go into the system, okay, compared to other tools in the market. So now, in terms of customers, as you see here, we have quite a lot of customers. Just to maybe to highlight, even Unit 4 is using the tool for their data maintenance, right? So, but as you can see there, we have customers all around the world, from Australia to America, UK, of course, Europe, and so on. Okay. So now, of course, we also have some customer success stories available if you require them. Okay, we can share that with you if you are interested. So now I will let John to continue with the interesting part, as I mentioned, which is the real demo of the product.
Okay, thank you, Albert. Can you hear me correctly?
All loud and clear.
Okay, great. So thank you for your time today. I'm going to show you how MFL can help your organizations on data migration and data maintenance, as Albert and Tracy were saying just now. Okay. And we'll highlight some real examples on the new features that we were highlighting just now for you to see how those new things, new features work in MFL. Okay. Let's start saying that we want some suppliers to be uploaded to our system. Okay, and how this could be done using GCON4 MFL. Okay, the first thing would be to generate our suppliers Excel sheet based on the setup we previously have done in our aggressor. Okay, in our Unit 4 business world, in this case for suppliers, I of course will have some relations, I will have some flexi fields, I will have some document archive set up already in my system, and when I select here the supplier master file, the first thing I will see is which are the permissions my user has, in this case user system, to deal with supplier master file, meaning that I can create, update, and read or retrieve information regarding supplier master file. This means that we can give or enable the tool for anyone in our organization. So as long as the system admin goes to the specific aggressor screen to give access to a specific elements only for a specific create, read, or update stuff, we will be safe and nobody would be doing things that they are not allowed to do. Okay. So the first thing will be always to go through the fields, selecting which are the fields I want to include in my Excel sheet in order to upload the information. Some of them will come already checked, so those are mandatory fields. The other ones, the user that is in the design phase, designing the Excel sheet, will be able to select the fields that he or she is interested. If I want to include all, just by selecting here, I will include all related address, relations, even document archive. We're gonna see an example now, or those two tabs you see here reflects two flexi groups I have set up in my supplier master file. If you see here, data one is a flexi group which contains a bunch of flexi fields. Data 2 is another flexi group which contains another bunch of flexi fields, also in table format in this case, for you to see that everything is covered with MFL. So in this case, I'm going to include all the fields here. I'm going to include all the fields here also. And once I am okay with the selections, what I could do is to protect or not the workbook I am creating, meaning that if the Excel sheet is password protected, only those who knows the password will be able to delete, for example, columns or rows, and those who receive the Excel password protected, in theory, is because they are only allowed to amend the data section of it. Okay, I can also tell the system to give me 5 sample rows for the user to know what is more or less the kind of data that aggressor will allow me to put. Okay, and the accepted values tab, which contain all the valid values for our attributes that are representing suppliers in this case. So I'm gonna create my supplier Excel sheet in order to create and go filling up all the information I need in this Excel. As you see here, 5 sample rows has been created randomly, okay? And the tab selections I did just now will be represented in here, okay? How is this Excel sheet structured? The first row here will determine whether the field itself, which will represent a column in the Excel sheet, in this case the supplier ID, can be defaulted or no. If no default are allowed, we will put it in red color and in this very easy to see way for the user. For the rest of them, we just leave it gray out, and the user can default values for this specific field. Let's say supplier group 100 for all my suppliers in here. Okay. The second row will determine whether the field is mandatory, which will come in blue color, or whether the field is optional. Okay. Those users that doesn't have the Excel sheet protected will be able to delete those optional fields, and the Excel sheet will still work. Of course, the information deleted won't be uploaded. And those fields that you see here in orange color could be mandatory or optional depending whether we are doing an insert or an update. If we are doing an insert, as you know, the supplier name, supplier group, these kind of fields are mandatory. If I am doing an update and I am, let's say, updating the batch registration number, I only need the supplier ID and the batch registration number in order to update this field. I don't really need the rest, so that's why we say that are optional in case you are performing an update. And thirdly, we have the field name itself. Okay, we always put a small tip for the user to know what kind of data we are referring to, and in this case, like for the sample and the supplier name, we put the length, which is 255 in this case. And those fields that you see here in blue color will allow the user to go through a link here. If I click here, a link, okay, to the accepted values tab, and here the user will see which are the valid values that I have set up in UVW previously. For example, 0, 7, 1, or 10 are valid values. If I say here 0, 7, it will turn green. If I say 1 or 10, it will turn green, etc., etc. If I put something that doesn't come as a valid value in the list I have just shown you, the cell will turn red. This works exactly the same way for all those fields that are actually an attribute in Aggressor regarding supplier master file in this case. Exactly the same with country code. All the list of valid country codes will come here. If I put something invalid, the cell will turn red. This will work for all the fields I have selected. And basically the idea here is that the user goes filling up all the address, all the relation, the document archive, the flexi fields will be filled by the user, and the idea is to upload the information. How to do it? I cannot upload this information because those IDs already exist in my database, but I have here one other Excel sheet, which is very similar to the one I have just shown you, with some IDs that don't really exist, okay? And with some random information I have, as I have just shown you, okay? I have a document that I'm gonna attach to this supplier, and I have some flexi fields. As you see, flexi fields here are not filled, but are filled in the default values here, just as an example for you, okay? So the idea here is just to go, press load, I will choose whichever the Excel sheet I want to upload. At this point of time is where our magic is happening and where our MFL validates all the information, if everything is correct, etc. Just for you to know that auto numbering is enabled. I mean, if Unit 4 Business World is set up in suppliers with auto numbering, we will respect whatever auto numbering you have set up. And secondly, we will also respect workflow if workflow is enabled for supplier master file in this case. Okay. In this case, the system is telling me that everything went fine. Okay. I'm gonna go check my first supplier. And here it is. Okay. System today at this time in the server I am connecting, okay, has created this supplier with whatever information I had in the Excel, with whatever relations I wanted to upload, with whatever flexi fields I had in the Excel sheet, and of course, also with whatever image or document I wanted to attach to this supplier I am mentioning. Of course, any Word, Excel, or PDF document that Aggresso will allow you to add manually here, MFL will also allow you to upload. Okay. So this is how the tool works when everything goes fine. If I have another Excel sheet here prepared with a couple of errors, okay, what happens when errors happen? We have invested quite a lot of time on getting meaningful error messages from the system. And for example, if we have a couple of relations wrong here, the log file will say something that the user can follow in order to go correct whatever happened. Okay, so in this case, okay, it's telling me that ID AAA 105 in the sheet relation, in this sheet of the Excel sheet, there is an invalid relation value, which is XXS, okay, for the related attribute cost center and business, which are those two, so that the user knows where to go to correct those errors that happened during the upload process. Okay? Okay, when it comes to data maintenance, I would like to show you some real examples that some of our customers are facing every day and how they have improved those daily, weekly, monthly tasks using MFL, okay? As Albert mentioned just now, one of the functionalities that we added in version 5.0, which is the previous to the one I am showing you now, was the uploading and amending POs, something that, especially in the UK, to be honest, many of our customers and potential customers requested some time ago. We did it. And now the second improvement to this PO upload has been to include also the fund checking functionality as a standard feature of MFL. Okay, so I'm going to show you some scenarios. The first one regarding this fund checking, okay, to show you how MFL can help on those kind of maintenance, data maintenance that I'm sure you face every week, every month in your organizations. Okay. The first scenario would be that our super user in our purchasing department has a challenge, and is that we need to upload POs and we want fund check to be done in UVW. Okay. The standard solution to do that is to go through the standard tools and go introducing all the information one by one, and then PO by PO saving or changing things in order to fund check to be activated. Okay. What we suggest with MFL is that in this case, just with whatever Excel sheet, we will be able to put the same message that UVW tells you when you have exceeded whatever limit you have put. Okay, in this case, we have 600,000 available budget. If in our Excel sheet we have 700,000, we will be exceeded by 100,000. Okay, which would be exactly the same message that UBW would tell us. Okay, how this is done in the system. Okay, if I am going here to my available fund, checking for a specific project, okay, and a specific cost center, okay, I have 600,000 available budget. If I am going to, let me show you the next Excel, which is a purchase order, okay, the purchase order is gonna increase 700,000, which MFL should stop exactly the same way Aggresso would have stopped the user creating this new PO. Okay, I am trying to load, and at this point of time is when the MFL is gonna tell me that there is an error because I have a budget of 600,000 for category 1. Blah blah blah, category 2, blah blah blah, whatever projects and cost center I want, and has been exceeded by 100,000. Okay, fund check definition has been this, and available budget definition was whatever. Okay, so of course this has been stopped. What happens if I am trying to upload a purchase order which is lesser than my available budget, okay? In this case, 500,000, okay? If I go to load this second Excel sheet, in this case, the purchase order, of course, will be created, okay? We will perform whatever actions Aggresso would have performed. In this case, it's telling me that everything went fine. If I go to Aggresso, okay, and I'm gonna check in this case by my supplier. Let's see if I have it here. This is my my order number, the 64 one, okay. This has been created with whatever information, of course. And if I go to my available funds, okay, my available budget has been decreased in 500,000 because this is what I have just uploaded through GCON4 MFL. So, meaning that all my funds will be checked against whatever I have previously set up in Aggresso. Okay. This was an scenario I wanted to show you. Let's see a couple of them more. Okay. Another scenario is, let's say our super user has a challenge, and is that we have a lot of users in our system, and due to a recent change of the company policy, all users need to start using single sign-on, something that many of our customers also have requested to us. As you perfectly will know, user master file has those 3 fields, in this case to use single sign-on, and this has been a new field by Aggresso that has been created. We have included in MFL, okay? And again, the standard solution to go filling up this would be to go user by user, putting whatever information we need here. We consider much easier to do it through MFL, just selecting master file user. You can just extract this area here works like a filtering area, and we call it like a small browser, or what we call the retrieve functionality. We extract whatever users we want, in this case, all the users we want. We make sure that the 3 fields are checked, and in the Excel sheet, we can much easier put whatever information we need massively, rather than doing it in Aggresso one by one. Of course, we are mentioning these 3 fields of the user master file, but any other user master file field could be also enabled by MFL to upload or update any information. Okay. And the last scenario I wanted to show you is the multi-language functionality, which is available for any attribute of Aggresso. Okay. And let's say that we have a challenge, and our company needs to have descriptions of attribute values in French, English, or whatever language you could imagine, okay? The standard solution, as you know, is to go attribute value by attribute value, okay, through the text option, putting whatever descriptions in different languages we could have, okay? And this could take attribute value by attribute value many days and weeks, I would say, if you have many attributes in your system, which is most of the cases, okay? What we suggest with MFL is just select master file attribute, go to attribute cost center, for example. You will have the languages tab here, and this tab is represented in the Excel sheet this way. So meaning that by attribute value, you will have different languages, and it's much easier to put the description, whatever it is, in the Excel sheet massively and upload whatever Excel you had regarding different languages for attribute values, okay? Okay, and thirdly, and I'm near to finish already, I would like to show you what Albert has mentioned regarding how we can improve integrations between third-party tools and UBW by connecting them through CSV files. Basically, what we do is, as I have shown you, to upload Excel sheets, of course, but we are also able to upload CSV files. As you see here, I have a couple of CSV files. In this case, regarding supplier information, but of course could be anything that Albert shown you during the presentation. And as long as the third-party tool puts these CSV files in a specific folder, only combining standard intelligence and GCON4 MFL, we will be able to upload the information automatically into UBW. And not only that, the best thing here is that we proactively send alerts to responsibles when something goes wrong during the upload process. Okay, so let's say that those CSV files are placed by the third-party tool in this specific folder, which is the data import folder that usually is used by this kind of task, but of course could be anything else. Okay, and we have set up a couple of intelligence to first do the upload of the information by directory polling. Okay, we go to a specific directory, we find supplier related CSV files. We execute, whenever we find those kind of CSV files, we execute MFL with the files we just found, and this happens every minute, okay, here, every day, okay? If I go to the event story, this should happen already 1 minute ago, okay? And what could happen, which are the two scenarios we could have at this stage? The first scenario would be that everything goes fine and the information regarding suppliers stored in those two CSV files I have just shown you has been nicely placed in Aggresso, and everything goes fine. If something goes wrong, as you see, I am receiving an email alert in here. I hope you see it. I'm not sure if you see it. Is because if something goes wrong, we use Intelligent to send an alert to the system admin to know, for him or her to know that something happened. We look for MFL logs, okay? As an output, we send email alerts to whoever responsible of the integrations are. This is happening every minute again. Of course, I have seen the email already, but this has been sent at this time in the server's time. And if I go to my Outlook, I will see that the last email I just received is the Intelligent alerting me that something went wrong during the upload process. It's telling me, responsible, please review this file created today because one or several errors were happening, blah, blah, blah. And not only that, we are also able to attach the error logs that MFL creates, which most of the cases is quite meaningful and is telling clearly the user that for ID 105 in the sheet supplier, there is an invalid value, which is this one, okay, for the field supplier group ID, meaning that the third-party system should go to this supplier group, okay, and check whether this is correct or not, okay. So lastly, the only thing I would like to mention is that soon we are gonna launch version 6 of MFL, okay? And among others, we will have two big new features, enhancements. The first one will be that MFL will be within UBW web. As you see, we will have the same stuff that I have just shown you, but within UBW, so that user can go through the standard web screens and everything will be much more familiar and nicer for users, okay? And also, something that many of our customers has requested, requisitions. I was talking about purchase orders upload, which was something that many customers was requesting to us. In version 6.0, which will come end of Q2, okay, requisitions will be also enabled in MFL for uploads and also updates of requisitions. Also something that many of our customers have requested, and we will be soon able to provide to all our customers, okay?
Thank you for that. Thank you very much, both of you, for that demonstration. We'll move over to the Q&A session in terms of answering some of your questions. So let's take a look at the questions that we have that have come through. Please do send any further questions through to us at this stage. So we do have a couple of questions. Firstly, you mentioned a free trial. How do we access the free trial? Well, I could probably answer that one. The free trial is available, and I can send you and everyone a link when we send over the actual recording of the webinar. So I'll send that over to you so that you'll be able to get hold of the free trial. The next question, this is one for Jon and Albert. Will the pricing for the new version be any different to current pricing?
Version 6, yes, probably the pricing of version 6 will vary, but we cannot really tell you now what will be the pricing. I mean, we can, if you are interested, we can discuss privately.
Okay. I think to be fair, we could take that offline anyway, yeah, and discuss pricing in terms of the different modules available. I suppose one thing that I would add to that is that if pricing is going to change slightly with version 6, then perhaps it's a good time to get hold of GCON4 MFL at the current pricing. So that's obviously going to be a selling point, guys. If you want GCON4 MFL, get it before version 6 comes out. We have some more questions. Is your product Google compatible?
Yeah, I guess he's referring to the Google Sheets. For now is Microsoft Excel compatible. However, I'm not an expert on Google Sheets, but if Google Sheets can generate like a CSV files, then I can say yes. Okay, but it's mainly done and used for Microsoft Excel.
Okay. There was another question with regard to absences. Are you going to do anything with absences at all?
Absence is not, as you have seen in the version, it won't be available in version 6. However, this is something that, yes, we have in the roadmap, and we plan to work on it, but not for version 6.
Okay. And how does it handle workflow?
So on this one, you want to explain?
Yes, basically what we do is check is workflow is enabled for the specific element we are trying to upload, okay? And if workflow is enabled before the final upload has been done, we pop up a message for the user to know that this specific master file has workflow enabled, and the user is able to say if they want to continue with the upload and put all those records into workflow, into the standard Aggresso workflow, or they want to cancel the load, park the workflow, and then proceed to load again all the records in order to put them into Aggresso, but without workflow. I don't know if I explained myself.
Okay, thank you. One further question here. Are there any limits on records in datasets? For example, how many resource master file records can you load in one shot?
There is no limit. I mean, the limit is Excel sheet, but it's true that not all the master files are programmed the same way within Unit 4. So different master files take different timing to upload the records. And also, we have seen during those years working with MFL that the server capacity of RAM has a lot of importance on having good performances when uploading data.
Okay, thank you for that. I'm not sure we have, we do have a further question. When will the new version be available to existing GCON4 MFL customers?
The version 6 will be, we plan to release it by Q3. Okay, the 5.02 that we have seen just now, that is already available. Okay, but version 6 is planned to be released on Q3.
Thank you for that. And we have one final question by the looks. Closing bulk purchase orders is often an issue. Can this be done in MFL?
Yes, the answer is yes. And actually, some of our customers use to close massively many purchase orders at the year end. So the answer to this is yes. And not only we are able to update the status on the purchase orders, we can actually update any field of the purchase order master file, let's call it this way, because basically we can update anything on the screens, both in the header section of the purchase order or in the lines, in the details section of the purchase order.
Okay. It sounds like we've come to an end of all of those questions. I think we've covered off most of those questions. There are a few that have come through that we can take offline. What I would like to add is that we are running a further webinar in March, which invites will be sent out to you, which will be promoted shortly and will cover off version 6. So if you've joined us today and you'd like to know more about version 6, then join us for the webinar that's coming shortly in March. Again, thank you very much everybody for joining us. I think we've covered off all of the questions. Thank you, Jon, thank you, Albert, and thank you, Faye, for coming to the webinar today and providing that information. I hope you all found it useful, but thank you very much. And I'm going to draw the webinar to a close. Please do stay on and just complete that survey just to give us some feedback on how you felt that the webinar went today, just so that we can improve future webinars for you going forward. Thank you once again, and we look forward to seeing you in March.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.